Retail industry. The performance metrics. Performance metrics. Metrics are also called key performance indicators. Defining metrics for measuring the success of a retail business is not easy. Different metrics can be defined for several formats of retail, such as supermarkets, hypermarkets, single-brand retail, department stores, specialty chains, and many more. Players in retail industry need to define metrics that are not only relevant for physical customers, but also their virtual customers. The focus of this section is to describe the few important metrics that are being measured by the retail industry globally. For most retailers, key store metrics include traffic counts, conversion rates, and the performance of sales staff. You can measure the performance of your retail business by defining metrics that are based on retail space performance. Some key examples widely used across the industry are: the first one is sales per square meter or profit per square meter. It measures the retail space performance on the basis of sales/profits as per the area of floor space covered. This measure is conducive to use when only a single layer of merchandise is displayed and various types of fixtures are placed. This is a common measure for fashion retailing. Another deviation is sales per linear meter or profit per linear meter. It measures retail space productivity on the basis of income generated by footage of the shelf space allocated. This measure is more suitable for stores using multi-shelf fixtures such as racks. It takes into account the linear value of the shelf rather than the area of space exposed in terms of the height value of the shelf. You can also measure sales per cubic meter or profit per cubic meter. It measures retail space performance on the basis of length, width, and depth of the fixtures placed in the stores. This measure is necessarily used by the retailers in the frozen food business or those who place dump bins on the retail floor. One key metric is sales per square footage. Total sales divided by the square footage. This metric identifies the average sales per square foot of a retail establishment. You can also calculate average sales per unit area. Measures the value of sales divided by the retail space, on average per unit area. The unit of area is usually square meters in the metric system or square feet in U.S. customary units. Another key metric is the percentage of selling space. Measures the percentage of storage space available for selling products from overall storage space. You can also measure sales per square foot. Actual sales dollars for a given period, usually a month or a year, divided by the total floor area in square feet of the store. There are variants of this indicator in terms of sales per square foot of the merchandisable area of choice, like walls and display units. Now, let us discuss some key metrics, which are based on the financial performance of the retail establishment. First is EBITDA by interest. EBITDA, or earnings before interest, taxes, and amortization, divided by interest. This metric provides an interest coverage ratio that identifies a company's ability to pay interest on its debt. The second is retained cash flow divided by net debt. Retained cash flow, or the cash flow from operations before working capital changes minus dividends, divided by a company's net debt. This metric provides information about a company's ability to pay its debts. The third is free cash flow over net debt. Free cash flow, or all cash flows except those from financing activities, divided by a company's net debt. This metric reflects a company's ability to repay its debts. Another important one is cash flows from operations, divided by gross debt. Cash flow from operations, which is typically the cash flows from operating activities after working capital reported by retailers, divided by a company's gross debt. This metric provides information about a company's ability to repay debt. The fifth financial metric to consider is SG&A. SGA means the costs associated with traditional selling, general, and administrative functions. The sixth metric to track is simply the sale value. It measures the value of a customer billing or purchases, on average, within the store. Seventh is the sales compared to budgets or targets. Actual sales divided by budget/target sales. Last one is a comparison of sales across different periods. Actual sales for a given period divided by actual sales for the period you want to compare to. Now let us understand few ratios that are based on product or inventory performance. Sales by inventory. The is the number of units sold for a product divided by the number of units in inventory. This metric provides a ratio of the inventory available for sale to the actual number of units sold. Cost of goods sold divided by average inventory. The cost of goods sold divided by the average inventory. This metric provides a measure of inventory turnover. Product returns. Measures the value of the products that were sold and returned to the store by the client for various reasons. Products sold per transaction. Measures the average number of items from different product lines sold on a per purchase basis. A product line refers to a number of related products that are developed by the same manufacturer. Out of stock product line. Measures the number of product lines that are not available in the store. Inventory to sales ratio. Measures the ratio between the retailer's inventory value and the sales revenue. Top selling items. Measures the percentage of the sales from the top selling items from gross sales. Percentage of sales by product category. Measures the percentage of sales generated by a product category from the overall gross sale. Now, we will focus on metrics based on customer engagement. Customers per day. Measures the average number of customers the store manages to attract on a per day basis. Units sold per customer. Measures the average number of units sold by the store on a per customer basis. Percentage of store loyalty. Measures the percentage of loyal customers from all store customers. Loyalty should be defined based on several attributes, such as size of purchases, time spent in store, and frequency of purchase. Frequency of store visits. Measures the number of times a customer visits the store in period on average. Time spent in store. Measures the length of time spent, on average, in store by prospective customers for the purpose of shopping. Another important metric is around shoplifting. This measures the value amount of products that were stolen from the store. Metrics based on a particular sector of a population. Demographics are quantifiable characteristics of a given population. Demographic analysis can cover whole societies or groups defined by criteria such as education, nationality, religion, and ethnicity. It helps to know your customer. For example, the retail business is of women's footwear with locations throughout Phoenix. It makes sense to target women between 25 to 45 years, within a specific income bracket, living in certain zip codes or neighborhoods. These demographics influence a huge number of decisions, from inventory and store decor, to staff selections, to marketing tactics, promotions, and local advertising. Metrics tracking store operations. Retail operations' objective is to keep the store functioning well. It includes a broad spectrum of activities. Includes people management, supply chain, store layout, cash operations, physical inventory management. Merchandise management, offers and pricing, etc., are also part of retail operations. So, retail operations can encompass everything about how a store operates each day. Metrics related to store operations track and help keep a store functioning well each day. These metrics ensure that managers are in control of the important elements of business that ultimately impact profit margins. Metrics tracking merchandising. Merchandising metrics enable tracking the effectiveness of returns from investment from different merchandise placements. Finding opportunities to generate better margins across different categories and brands. And most importantly, how to boost the monthly revenue and average order value numbers. Supply chain metrics. Supply chain metrics include measurements for procurement, production, transportation, inventory, warehousing, material handling, packaging, and customer service. Supply chain management requires management of complex dependencies between different stakeholders across regional boundaries. Good metrics enable rapid business decisions in today's fast-acting environment. From metrics to business intelligence. Essentially, metrics turn data generated by the store into intelligence. By measuring the success of these parts of the operation, retailers can understand what works and what doesn't work, set realistic targets, and gauge the store's performance against past performance, the store's goals, and the rest of the industry. Sales and profitability are considered established measures of retail unit success. They can be used to measure the performance of retail space management. The measures of retail space performance indicate the productivity of retail space. Technology and the right business processes offer a way to draw intelligence from the data more easily. With the right technology and processes in place, retailers can pull more precise and more useful details from the raw data. Retailers who can generate intelligence about customer preferences and buying patterns are better able to connect with individual customers, refine the product mix, and hone customer service and business practices to be more efficient, cost-effective, and responsive. The more refined the data, the more precise the retailer can measure the store's current performance against past performance, market performance, and retail industry benchmarks.